Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. I can't help but feel this is going to be my last ever WTF1 video, but here goes anyway. So the news is that Andre Harrison, who is second from the left from the original 2023 lineup which started just after Christmas, has now left WTF1. Which now means that the only two remaining members of this original lineup from the start of the year is Hannah on the far left and Charlie Williams on the far right. Now, unfortunately, of course, WTF1 is essentially a lads channel, and to have two girls now as the only ones left on that said lads channel is a disastrous state of affairs. Now, of course, Kieran left pretty early into his life cycle, and of course Jack Nichols was unceremoniously got rid of due to inappropriate behaviour. So yeah, it's just the two girls left now at WTF1. I have to say, it's a pretty sad ending. A pretty sad ending indeed. And to be honest with you, I blame the race. Yes, the race YouTube channel. Let's have a look now at WTF1, and as you can see, over this past year things have not been going so well at all. They've done a few long form videos but not very many. They average about 20 to 30,000 views in total, and in fact for the last couple of months they've pretty much just been doing short videos. That's been the bulk of what their content has been for the last few months. And so yeah, they've pretty much just been doing it. And from what I can see, it looks to me as an outsider looking in that Andre Harrison has pretty much been running this YouTube channel all on his own. Pretty much so, apart from of course there'll be a video editor editing the videos and possibly one other person behind the scenes. But apart from that, it does look like poor Andre has been running the show for quite a few months now, because there just doesn't seem to be any other kind of activity. Now, I'll tell you why I blame the race for this, because let's have a look at it. They took over WTF1 in 2020. Now, what would be the best way to try and get rid of one of your main rivals in this media circus, as they call it? Well, one of them would be, of course, to take over the company, which is what they did. They took over WTF1. And then, of course, the next thing they could do on their agenda is to upset, like, the two main hosts, or the three hosts with Katie Furman, which, of course, was Matt and Tommy. And they did that, and so they left. Then, of course, the next thing they could do is then bring in some more people who they know deep down would never be as popular as Matt and Tommy, which they did that as well. And then, of course, all they've got to do is just sit back and basically watch the channel die a death, which sadly, that is what has now become of WTF1, because it is literally dying a death. And it does prove the old adage that it doesn't matter how many subscribers you've got. As you can see, they've still got 1.06 million subscribers. Doesn't matter. If nobody is watching the videos, it doesn't matter what you do, nobody is going to watch the videos. And it's very, very sad indeed. Meanwhile, the Race YouTube channel is doing very well indeed. They've just gone over 1.02 million subscribers, as you can see. And all their videos, I mean, don't forget we're in the closed season now, when there's really no news at all. But just look at the views on their videos. Look, just 2 days ago, 157,000 views. And they're averaging, 160,000. And look at this one with, of course, Susie Wolf, which is to be expected, 455,000 views. Now, I've got no sort of problem with the Race channel myself. It is very sort of technical and spotty and a little bit boring, to be honest. And I've watched a few of the videos, but I do start to fall asleep halfway through. But the figures are there, so they must be well liked. You really can't knock any channel that's got over 1 million subscribers. You really can't. You just cannot do anything to sort of criticise them. But for me, I just find the content very, very dry indeed. So of course, this is my thinking that they've basically now eliminated one of their biggest rivals. Now, what's going to happen with WTF1 now? Maybe they'll do a revamp after Christmas and try and inject some, new passion, some more presenters. But I mean, they did all that at the start of the year and it hasn't gone very well whatsoever. It really hasn't, no. But unfortunately, because of the people that they hired, this was always going to happen. Now, I've got no problem with Andre Harrison. Of course, anyone who's watched my videos in the past, I just have a problem with something that Andre did in his past. Now, and yes, this has got nothing to do with colour or diversity or any of that utter twaddle. No, it's completely different. I have spoken about it before and I'm not going to go through it again, but that's the only problem I have with Andre. So I think it's very, very sad that this news has come out now just before Christmas, that he is now, I believe he's lost his job, because I believe that WTF1 are now going to shut this channel down, or at least just let it die a death. As I say, I haven't got a clue. I'm on the outside looking in. I've got no information whatsoever. It's just a gut feeling that I feel through watching, the past videos and the way they've been declining everything. I mean, the live streams, for God's sake, were on Facebook Gaming. They were getting like 500 views in total on Facebook Gaming for the live streams. Very strange decision. I have no idea why I didn't keep putting them on YouTube. I mean, I know there's a lot of negative comments, but just keep putting them on YouTube. It's their highest sort of user base. So why they transferred it over to YouTube Gaming, Facebook Gaming, I have absolutely no idea. But that was a very poor decision. And I think some very poor decisions at the race, the owners of WTF1, have gone on since it was, the new presenters came out at the start of the year, to be honest. And yeah, I mean, there was no way it was going to get popular if you're going to just employ, people who do TikTok. I mean, personally, I can't stand TikTok myself. I just don't see the point of it. But I know a lot of you love it, so I'm not going to knock you for that. But myself, I don't, and I just can't see how you're going to draw die-hard F1 fans. There's a lot of them out there who watch WTF1. You're not going to draw them in, when you've got people who make TikTok videos, and people that end up just going to award shows to do with Formula 1 or movie premieres to do with F1, like the Ferrari one a little while ago and stuff like that. This is not going to draw you in. You need people on this channel with experience, past experience. Maybe some older guys, would be better. You tried to appeal to the younger market and it just didn't work. It just didn't work whatsoever. So maybe someone, with a bit of sort of heritage, a little bit of history from the past, maybe get them in and see if they can revamp the channel. But sadly, I feel it's still going to be too little too late. And I just think the channel is now going to die. And I seriously don't think that Andre has left the channel. I think, he is not sacked for any reason that he's done anything, but sacked because the channel, I think, is going to close down. As I say, I'm just outside looking in. I have no facts to back that up whatsoever. So they could come back next year and have a complete revamp, because that's what it needs now. It needs a complete revamp because people aren't watching the videos. That's clear to see. You can just look at the video count, and if you look at the comments that you get as well, they're not very complimentary. I don't know whether they block a lot of them, but yeah, they're not very complimentary. And it just, it just hasn't. I mean, and let's do it. We don't want to do it, but we got to do it. Let's go back to the heyday and go to the oldest videos. I mean, even their first video, 170k views, and then look at the views we got here. Look, 343, 335. A few of their videos got very, very low views. I did notice that back in the day, but mostly sort of around about the 200,000 to 300,000 mark. I mean, look at that. Driving a Formula 1 car, 1.8 million views 6 years ago. That was Matt, of course. And it's just a very sad ending, I believe, to a once very great channel. And, I can't help that Matt and Tommy probably feel, a little bit sad about this as well. Obviously, they had to make a decision, a business decision, so they could carry on, basically, and that's what they did. So, but I mean, it is pretty sad that a once great channel, and I mean, I never usually clicked on every one of their videos. I wasn't that much of a fan, but every now and again they did a video which did hold my attention. I was like, yeah, that was pretty decent. So yeah, as I say, I just don't know what the sort of solution is now for WTF1 going into next year, because they've thrown so much mud at it now to see what sticks, and basically nothing has stuck whatsoever. It really hasn't. Just nothing has stuck. They've brought in some trendy people. They've got people doing the podcasts and stuff like that, and none of it's worked. Just none of it has worked. So yeah, it's quite a sad ending, really. But anyone knows that I did a video about WTF1, and a lot of people have complained to me about why were you taking the piss out of them most of the year. Well, it didn't start with the start of this year. I actually did a video about WTF1 when they first started 6 years ago. So it wasn't just this video, the videos that I did this year. It was also 6 years ago, I think probably 7 years ago now, that I made a video about WTF1. And I was asking the question, how long do you think it will last? Yeah, well, also, in one of my, I think it was live streams, I also asked a question about how long I thought WTF1 with everything that was going on would last. And sadly, I did say that I thought that it would probably be finished by this Christmas. And as I say, looking at it from the outside in, it looks like this is what's happened. Yes. So this could be the end of WTF1. As I say, it's pure conjecture. I have no idea. It is like the break time, but I mean the race is still putting videos out, and we've got nothing from them whatsoever. When was the last one they did? The last 2 weeks ago was the last full form video that they did 2 weeks ago. They've been doing shorts, but I mean, they don't generate any sort of money. You get 4p for every 1,000 views on a short. So, but as I say, that's all they've been making recently, is just short videos. So once again, a pretty sad demise. Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think they will come back next year and have another think and maybe another revamp? But I say, personally, I just no. And if I was WTF1, I'd probably leave it alone now, because you've chucked a lot of money, clearly most of it from MoneyGram. You've chucked a lot of money at this channel, and nothing's worked. And I don't think you're ever going to get it back. This channel is never going to be as popular as it was with Matt and Tommy. It's a sad fact, but it is a fact. It's never going to be, and it's been tarnished, and it's been tarnished by the way you brought the other people in. It was a terrible way to do it, by actually having Matt and Tommy in their last video and then introducing these 5 new people that were going to take over, and then a curious decision of actually deleting that video a little bit later on, which got so many people annoyed. And if you go on YouTube, that video has been uploaded quite a few times by other people after it had been deleted. So, if you still want to watch it, you can go and watch it. But that was just terrible. In a marketing situation, that was just absolutely deplorable, that you'd have Matt and Tommy and then introducing like the new people. That should have been done completely separate. You should have had Matt and Tommy saying goodbye, then the next video you should have brought in the new people. But of course you did that because you knew that nobody would watch the video and give it much views because of just having the new people in it. But it was a terrible marketing decision from whoever was running WTF1 at the time. And yeah, so personally, I think this is my last WTF1 video. Unless they come back next year with a complete new set of numpties, which means I'll be able to make some more videos about them. Because, everyone knows I do comedy, and you have to be risky when you're doing comedy. There's always a line, and I do stay pretty much within that line. There are other YouTubers out there that go way past that line, Mr. Tomahawk, and but I stick within the lines. But we will see what happens next year and see whether it does get revamped. And if, of course, we get some new numpties in there, I will be making more videos on WTF1. If there's anything that I can make, of course, because if they don't make any mistakes, the start of their tenure, all these new people, the mistakes were absolutely appalling, especially on their Twitch channel, which they pretty rapidly stopped doing after a while, because I think they realised I was nicking most of the stuff off there, and so they stopped it. But there was a lot of mistakes in the early sort of time that they in like January when they first started. A lot of mistakes, and it just looks to me like it's for the last 3 months now it's been winding down, and now it's come to a full stop, with the conclusion of that being that Andre Harrison has now left. Of course, he was supposed to be the boss of all the podcasts, which even the podcasts now are a shadow of what they were. They're only available now in audio form. They were on this channel, WTF1, and you could see the people, you could see the presenters, but that all stopped. That all stopped, basically because I think of all the mistakes that were getting made. But it was quite easy to do. You could have just, made sure that you didn't make the mistakes in the first place. If you're a professional outfit, that's what you do. I mean, something cockeyed like me, I make loads of mistakes, but you expect that with just less than 2,000 subscribers. But if you're a big channel, you make sure that you don't make those mistakes before you go on air, if possible. Obviously, if something goes wrong, like you lose audio or whatever, there's nothing you can do about that. Mistakes happen when you're doing it live, but you try to eliminate as many as you can. But it just looked like amateur hour when they first started. Appalling amount of mistakes, really was. But anyway, there you go. That's enough rambling from me. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Let me know in the comments what you think, and whether you think it is a sad end for or maybe you don't care. Maybe you don't care anymore, but maybe you do think it's a sad end for WTF1. Anyway, that may be my last video from me for WTF1. If it is, I'd like to thank everyone for watching all those comedy videos from last year. And I'll leave them up because, there's nothing offensive about them whatsoever. So what does it matter? I'll leave them up. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, everyone. I'll catch you in the next video.